if you look at this shape here, it's just a bunch of stars. It's just 3 of them attached together. But look at what you don't see. Look at the inverted space, the negative space. What do you see there? I've been working on a few concepts for OpenMagic, and this is always what I do. At the start of every project, I like to just get ideas out. And sometimes I start on the computer, even though we tell people not to. But in this case, I really wanted to start here, which is basically down this end. I'm going to walk you through each of my concepts and show you the decisions that I've made. So, based on the Moodboard, which is over here, we've got a video. If you haven't watched that, watch the video in the description to show you how a Moodboard for this real client project was made. The first thing I wanted to do was use a mind map, which is something similar to here. This mind map was just the first one of just the general vibe that I'm going for. But this one goes into a bit more detail. So visually, I find it difficult to come up with ideas that are visual without naming them first. So with OpenMagic, they're an AI content creation company, so they help people create content in the CGI space using AI. So I wanted to get this idea that it's like magic when you use it. So obviously with magic, we have words like wand, stars, flash, and light. We have other forms of magic like aura, energy, power. We want it to be modern. And we also struck these 2 words together here, and it's called serious and playful. And that's a big one because out of all my notes that I write, and this is just literally what I write in calls, there's times in here where I talk about how it needs to be not too serious, not dystopian, but also playful and friendly. We want it to feel kind of like between Canva, Adobe, and Framer, where everything feels a bit more playful. So the first thing I do is write down these words, and the wording is seriously playful or playfully serious is what we're going for. I like stars. Stars were the big first idea I had, and the trouble or the challenge was to create an icon that is distinct but also understandable as a star. So I used the radial feature. See this thing here in Illustrator, you can create the shapes and you can go crazy with them and change them all like this. It's a very handy feature, and that was an alright starting point. I also had this logo down here, which was kind of like, it looked more like a blockchain logo. I used it in a video, but I thought, let's just have an icon in there that means that I'm not creating within a vacuum. So just getting something out on paper is more important for me, that I can base my ideas off. And in this case, it was kind of like these blocks. We had a few star things up here until we got to this point here. Now, something that I wanted really badly was to make this not look like it was only for professionals. I wanted it to look like anyone could go to this company and it would be user friendly. It was serious but also playful. And the way to do that is by rounding shapes. In design, that is a huge thing. Over here, if I just bring this out and create this so it's not so round, let's make it a little bit round. It looks a lot more serious when it isn't as rounded in the corners. And the same goes for the actual star itself. If we round the star's corners and make it a bit chunkier, it actually just makes it look a bit more cartoonish. And that was something that I really liked, because it signals not only is there magic happening, so we got that, also signals that it's approachable, it's friendly, almost childlike in a way. And that's where I wanted to go with this. So this was the basis of my first ideations for this. And it's really simple right now. We eventually went over here where I was like, okay, here's some like icons we could use. The cool thing about these is in most AI companies or anyone that uses AI to generate stuff, there's always like a button to press. And the star has become synonymous with that. So I thought, well, why don't we play around with this? We don't have to lock it in, but let's play around with this idea a little bit because I do want the sense of wonder. I do want this sense that something magical is about to happen when they click it. And if we can get that into the icon, then why not? So we've got this, and I thought, let's add some more friendliness to it. So we make it 3D. Now, one thing that I needed to keep in mind during it was that it could work in 3D. Hence why I thought I'd put this kind of like, it's terrible right now, but this kind of drop shadow on the icon itself, so it looks like a button. I wanted this to feel like when you could click it and it would be kind of squishy in a way. Strange thought pattern there, but there you go. The next step was the typography. I liked this idea, this concept, this direction, whatever you want to call it. So I thought, we need to find some type to match it. And normally that's really tedious because we normally write magic like so. then find like some characters here and would put them like this, you know, all the way down. And you'd soon realize that certain icons work better with certain type styles. So for instance, this really bubbly one called a Bergie, if I bring this in, this works quite well, but it makes it look, I don't know, kind of like a milkshake, you know, food consumable brand. It's a bit too detailed. It doesn't have the confidence that I'm looking for. Whereas this one kind of works a bit better, but also it looks too traditional, like traditional magic. And we need to stay away from that. So instead of that, I decided, let's create our own typeface for this. And I called it Funky. And it's one that I've been working on because I don't know about anyone else, when I get a client project, the way that I express the brand is a lot of the time within the typography itself. So I actually created the majority of this font based on that feeling, which is playfully serious, where you can read it, it's legible, but it's got a bit of funk to it in a good way. So we've got these cool letter forms going on, and this will probably seem to a lot of designers like a waste of time. And I wouldn't blame them, because who's going to create an entire font for a brand? But for me, it really distills the shapes that I want to use within the brand identity itself, or within a certain concept. And hey, I can use this later on if I want to. I can make it into a real font if I like. So I used that, put it back into Illustrator. I put the icon on it as well. Very badly kerned. How did I miss that? There we go. Problem with this is it probably looks a bit too playful. And this is where the balance comes in. How do we create that balance? So I kind of went over here and thought, okay, let's choose some like basic types that we know will work well. So we've got Newhouse Grotesque, classic font next to this. So we've instantly got playfully and serious. Playful and serious next to each other. I also played with the idea of calling it just magic at the moment. And that is another kettle of fish. The name might change. So stick around, subscribe if you want to watch more of this process as we go. One thing that every graphic designer or even creative professional needs is a website. It doesn't matter if you're big or small, get yourself a website. Recently, we've been working on our brand new one, and we've moved to a platform called Framer, who is sponsoring this video. Framer allows you as a graphic designer to not know any code, but to design websites like this. It's mind-blowing what you can do inside of Framer. More so than that, you can fully customize it to be whatever you want. You don't have to learn that much, and to be honest, they have some amazing tutorials on their website. And also, if you just want to take a template, you can go and find a community template that you can get for free, or there are paid versions of the template, and you can edit it from there, giving you a bit of a head start. These beautiful websites with all these animations and interactions that you're seeing were all created without code, perfect for graphic designers like me and you who aren't web developing wizards. I've been learning how to use Framer over the past few weeks, and I'm really excited to share a video soon about our new website once it's built. And I'm also excited to share some tutorials soon that will help you in your Framer journey for designing your first website. If you want to check them out for completely free and start building your website free today with no coding or anything, please click the link down below in the description. It helps me out and it keeps these videos going live to you. Thank you very much for sponsoring the video. Open Magic here. I liked it. It looked quite big, so this icon would have to fit somewhere else, most likely, like this. But I eventually thought, you know, we need to come up with a new idea. This looks a bit too playful, and I want to have an idea or a direction that is one playful, but also one that is a slightly more serious. And that's a really cool thing to do for clients, because they not only see one way of designing a logo, they see another way and a different feeling that is still within the brief. It's still within the mood board. So I went over here and I started playing more with the stars. And I thought to myself, when I was drawing, in fact, I can bring it up around here. So yeah, here we go. I thought to myself, right, okay, let's play with this idea of a frame. And this is one of my early concepts of creating kind of like a frame arch like this. And within that frame would be people's work. Like this is the magic doorway, so to speak, similar to National Geographic, where they have basically that golden rectangle that fits on everything, and it's just a very elegantly designed brand. So I thought of this, but then I was like, okay, how do we make it more unique? Let's put a star in it, or some sort of like strange shape. So I put this sort of strange shape up here, as you can see, and it kind of works. We've got a concept there, but I don't think it hits the mark. So I put a pin in that design and thought, let's go and bring it into Illustrator, which is sometimes a lot quicker for ideating with simple shapes like stars, and see what we get. And we've got these ones here. And notice that I'm just doing them in black and white, boom, boom, boom. This one here was cool because it's got the idea that something's happening, but it also, I think to me, it just feels a bit too space-esque. It's got that kind of futuristic vibe, space travel feeling, because of the stars are being used as like an expanse. Not my kettle of fish there. But the stars were really important because with one shape, you can create a composition of them to create other shapes or to allude to different shapes. This idea of bringing an M into the stars came from understanding what an M looks like. We have these, what I call polygons in between, and obviously a star has polygons all the way throughout it. So if you understand that that could be the middle of the M and we can create a couple more, you've just created an invisible M with 3 stars. Looks cool, could work, signifies magic. It's still got the friendliness aspect to it. It could be a winning design. So that is another concept that I wanted to go into when ideating. Another point of this project is not only that it has to work in 2D space, it actually has to work in 3D. And Illustrator's got this great feature where you can instantly make things in 3D and see how it will kind of sit, how it will work. And it's just a really simple way of understanding how it goes in 3D space. Now, logo types, that's something that I love to work on. And again, I think the typography is a lot more important than the icons sometimes, especially today with brands, because everyone's reading the name of these companies. Now, I went ahead and used something called the Pilot Parallel Pen. I'm a calligrapher, I love hand lettering. And at any opportunity, I'm going to go back to just ye old quill and pen, whatever you call it, ink and quill. And what I did was I messed around with the word magic a lot with this, and I ended up going to somewhere like this. These were with the pen at a strange angle, and I really loved the way that we could create an M and this kind of calligraphic but also futuristic type of style within it. This M really spoke to me, so I thought I'm going to write this down many, many times. Then I'm going to bring it into my iPad and essentially just trace it out again to make it even better. And that's what I did. I just got my iPad out, I took a picture on my phone, and I went ahead and created this, which is just a bit more of a refined version of the design itself. And I think it looked really nice, especially with the star up here. And from this point of creating all these different crazy sketches and everything else, I brought it into glyphs. So I do all my logo type stuff in glyphs, and you can see here that I'm basically halfway through it. But I've had this idea. What if we used the magic logo or this kind of logo as the logo type, and then just use this M, which is really visually very interesting? What if we use this inside of a container to create that crazy look? So let's just bring this guy in here, increase the size of this, and just do a really basic kind of icon look. Scale this all the way down so we can see what it looks like. That to me kind of looks like an M. It also kind of looks like a squiggle as well. It looks very creative, it looks very free-flowing. And for something that is supposed to be modern and magic, I think it could work really nicely, especially if we just steal one of these guys and maybe mess around with them a little bit. If we can get like a star, maybe shear it off a bit to the right. Well, that looks a bit strange for now, but we'll see where it goes. But if we did something like this, we've got a pretty cool icon that works. And that's where I'm at with the icon concepts. So throughout all of this, it all stemmed, every one of these designs, I call them directional concepts because they're so different. But each and every one of these stemmed from one idea of a star and how it could move and the tool that I use. So that's the behind the scenes of a real client project, how we ideate for not just the logo, but what it means for the brand. What we try and do is create meaningful shapes, meaningful connections for the brand that are completely different. And we can show them different ways that we solve that problem. The next part is getting this all rounded up and put into kind of a presentation, fleshing each one out a little bit more to give them a taste of what the brand looks like, present that to them tomorrow, and we'll get the feedback whether we have hit the nail on the head with some parts, and also work out what they really don't like, which is ultimately the most important part. So subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one.